thing.
Woo!
Yep, going well.
Living the dream.
Yep, okay. We should be alive.
Looks like we're alive.
What?
Yeah, seems to be the case.
We're alive.
No, not alive, just live.
I mean, we're not going to live that long anyway.
I'll be fine.
You have pierogi lasagna, so...
It's true.
Welcome to session 24 of the DND5e Greyhawk to Ravenloft Curse of Strahd / City of Gold. I don't know what we call this thing. It's been going on for a year now. That's exciting.
Yeah, we had City of Gold. Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't actually hit the City of Gold yet, but we will. We will. We'll get there.
There is actually a City of Gold? What?
There is. It's the next mini-plot.
Eldorado.
Ooh.
Get the fuck out of here.
Sneak peeks.
Yeah, so thanks for joining us. And if you remember, next session we're going to have a super mega recap by one Tristan over there. Hey, I can see Squid.
Hello.
I see Squid.
Woo.
It worked. But for now, it's just going to be a regular recap. So if he's ready.
I am indeed ready. So last session started off strong with Dave swearing a whole lot. Like, a lot. Anyway, more into the actual plot points. We had all... I mean, you wanted authenticity, Dave.
God damn. It's true.
We then going into the actual plot of what happened in the game. We had been scouting out Nico's place, the bar that's no longer Nico's place. And trying to say, hey, what's up with this like shadow monster that kidnapped Goose, probably? And then through a series of waiting and watching not much happen, we were like, wait, we all have interconnected pouches. Let's send him a little message. So we sent him a magical glowing rock that had a message like, hey, when you're in a safe place, hold this rock up. We then realized, oh, he's in the basement of that house. And then our friend whose name I can't remember with like the spider web kind of tattoos, our helper NPC guy, Calsim, sent in his wizard's eye to scout out the place. And it's like, yeah, there's a shadow monster down there with our one and only Goose Crumplebottom, played by Riley. Almost forgot your little intro there. We then are like, oh, maybe that's not a great idea after all. Like to just charge in now. So we do that for a while, a lot of talking of like, hey, what should we do? We then realize, oh shoot, they're starting to come up. We see the light from the glowing coin approach us and decide to book it out of there. Upon arriving back relatively quickly to the other bar we had stayed at, previously belonging to Roy Keg, another lovely NPC, there's several dudes there who look like they're maybe kind of like a little rough and tumble, as they say. Kaylin Stanford, played by Squid, being fearless as ever and realizing that they are of the same kind of thieves group that she is, decides to boldly strut up to them. And Drib, played by myself, decides to follow suit, trying to look tough. Apparently, these guys kind of know what's up and realize that all of us, save for Puvu Ego, played by one Dan S., are all wanted. So maybe that's not great for us. However, they also seem to have some sort of connection with Nico Veas, played by Dan L.A., and his, not urging, but recommendation, decide to follow him to some lady called the Grim, who seems super bad and who Nico has a mysterious connection to, and may also have some relation to his missing wife. Lots of secrets and surprises. Was I a robot here?
Yeah.
Oh no! How much of that was missed?
You could hear most of it, but you kept kind of cutting in and out weirdly.
Yeah.
Or is it
Long
just me?
story short.
No, it was kind of bubbly for me too.
Okay.
Shucks.
Long
Bubbly
story short,
robot.
We got some great people here, and we are now heading to someone called the Grim. So this won't end bad at all.
Yeah, Grimm's not foreboding.
Well, I mean, if it is, you only have Danlo to blame. Okay, so Apologies are all around because I was not able to weave an interconnected story to everyone tonight, but I am trying. So, if you got a weird and cryptic message tonight from me, we'll go right down the line. Squid, did you get a weird and cryptic message tonight?
Is she... Hello?
Just looking.
Oh,
Might be
okay. Okay.
There we go.
Oh, okay.
If I did, I don't see where it is.
Oh, hey. Thank you.
Oh,
Whoa!
thank you,
Psycho.
Psycho 2001, for subscribing at Tier 1 for 2 months in a row.
That's Brian,
That's dedication.
right?
Yeah, it's Brian.
Thank you, Brian.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yay!
Ooh, that lasagna looks crisp.
Hopefully that's okay to say.
Crisp.
Okay.
It's me.
Danla. It's me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you get a cryptic message tonight?
I may or may not have received a cryptic message.
What was your cryptic message? Tell the class.
You want me to read it? The whole thing?
You can read your whole thing, or you can read your interpretation of it.
It says, tonight you will have to answer if you can watch another go down the same road you went down. Compassion. Ellipsis.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tristan, were you asked anything cryptic or otherwise?
I was indeed.
Yeah, what'd you get asked?
So I was asked regarding Drib's past, which hasn't been delved into all that much.
Mhm.
Long story short, as a youth, he was kidnapped from his family. He had some amount of siblings, didn't really know his parents, and wound up in the care, not really, of the witch Gehenna, who was not very nice and who he many years later wound up killing. But it appears there may have been a middleman in this whole process that Drib, as a small child, may not have had the clearest memory of, but memories can be jogged. So we'll see what happens here.
Nice. Riley, did you get asked a cryptic question?
Was it really cryptic? I feel like it was pretty straightforward.
Okay, what was it?
This is the first thing you said, right? The
It's going
if all
going
goes
well.
Yeah, if all goes well,
Yeah.
I have to decide if faith is more important than friends. That one.
It seems pretty goddamn cryptic to me, but
That's pretty straightforward.
I think it's cryptic. Vote in chat right now, cryptic or not.
That's a two-way decision. Faith or friends.
Mm-hmm.
But why were you making this decision?
Hey, Puvu. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah.
I got nothing for you, man. You're a kid.
Oh,
We're working
So,
on it. We're working on it.
that's not foreboding at all.
So here's the thing that I thought of, but I didn't have a way to on a scale of lasagna to pierogies. How cryptic is it? I think the only question I have to ask you tonight is, do you need people or do they need you? I think is the way I had to frame it.
Ooh.
I think the best way I can answer that is he wishes it were a balance.
Ooh.
All right,
So
Squid.
how's that for a cryptic answer?
Yeah. We're just glossing over that. Hey, Squid, do you have an answer for us, or rather, a question?
Yeah, the question was why Kalen's sister got grabbed up, and it was because she owes some money for her gambling problem. And so now she's going to have to choose if she's going to return a pawn to the board or become a queen.
Ooh.
Yeah, very cryptic. So a lasagna made out of pierogies is the answer. Yeah.
Delish.
Yeah. Okay.
Such
Cool.
crisp.
Yeah. Thanks for humoring me, everyone. We tried. Great game. We did it.
Oh, that's it. I don't have to choose. Cool.
No, you did.
Sauerkraut pierogies and
The
lasagna.
The point was, my challenge to myself was to make all of those questions
I
matter
will
tonight.
return momentarily.
Yeah. Nothing like a chess analogy to really cryptic it up. Cryptic state, perhaps. That being said, I don't think that there's a lot going on between the bar, or the other bar, and the Grimm's place, right? Like, if somebody wants to say something or do something, that's fine. But if we just want to, like, cut in from commercial break and 2 weeks ago to now, is everybody okay with that?
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Okay.
I'm along for the ride.
What's that?
I'm along for the ride.
Yeah. So the Grimm is hiding out in the original consortium headquarters in Dustow, and it's not particularly flashy, right? It's a place that it's a place that's easy to access, but it's not really a place that anyone's kind of going to. No one's stumbling in there, but it looks like a good enough front. And it doesn't really have a name other than our place, right? Kind of like our thing. Now, most people have moved along to the castle and with Fulcrum, so the Grimm has actually taken over most of this as being like the ranking member. And as such, the like combination generic fantasy warehouse / manufacturing center, like maybe a little bit like part tannery, part like rail yard, is turned into like there's nobody around for starters, because there's just a significant amount of portion of people that have been killed and are in hiding and everything, right? And every available surface that's not on the outside, because the outside still looks normal, but as soon as you go in through like the front doors or any kind of side door, which there's a lot, every conceivable surface is decked out in strips of leather, strips of cloth that have been like inked, scrawled upon, written. There's just this like consistent tapestry of language and symbols everywhere. Now, what weird languages is the party speaking? Like, does anyone speak Draconic?
I know Drib has a few funky ones.
Mm-hmm. Like Draconic, Deep Speech, Abyssal.
Any Infernal or Primordial?
Primordial work, yeah. Because it's lots of the same story, right? It's not like I wrote 3 pages in Draconic and then 2 in Sylvan.
I speak the very exotic Undercommon.
Okay, Undercommon's pretty good.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
It's moderately uncommon.
I don't think Dwarven gets me very far.
No, not very far.
Gnomish. Is Gnomish weird?
Gnomish is weird, but not in the way that we're looking for.
Oh.
Had I had this as part of my backstory at the time of creating the character, it would have made sense, but...
Yeah, no, it's true. Okay, so, the party's got a bit, because, again, the stories are repeated a lot, although you're definitely missing some context, and it's not like you have a lot of time to stop and read the whole thing. You're kind of getting snippets and bits and pieces. So, anyone who had any of those weird languages, Draconic, Abyssal, Infernal... Undercommon's fine. Did we say anything else?
I have Primordial and Infernal, so
okay.
Either of those.
So you can roll with advantage.
Nice. And what am I rolling?
Perception, sorry.
Alright.
Or I guess history if you really want to, but most people are usually...
We all are, just Tristan.
Anyone who has those languages, so
okay.
You could be Undercommon.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Only a 14, but not the worst.
Perception.
Yeah. Damn.
Ooh.
Puvu, ever the study. Yeah.
Yeah. With your Undercommon.
Yeah, so Drib, you're kind of really quickly gathering up, like, this is a story of not necessarily the Gith people, but perhaps a specific lineage of the Gith, right? And it starts from like day one. Like there were those who would not stand up to the enemy, right? We will always remember their name, and then it has some like cultural name for them that doesn't really translate well into these other languages. But they are the enemy, and you know, the language of the book would understand that these are the good people and those are the bad people, right? And it goes into that pretty quickly, and talks about, you know, like the ways that they have been they've let the rest of the race down. They haven't been there when they were needed. And then it talks about being like scattered through the stars and not being able to like grow and learn, and it would be like capitalize them as like capital letter grow, capital letter learn, not just like more than just the idea of like, oh, they didn't grow. Like, what do you mean they didn't grow? And it talks about them, you know, having to retreat to these, you know, like. And again, the language kind of is a little murky and unclear, but it basically talks about like lesser worlds having to retreat to them to stay, and again, like human, right? They're not human, but the idea that like that is their tether to existence, that being scattered amongst the stars. Yeah. And it's just kind of this story about like, you know, we're trying to be out here, we're trying to be perfect, but like we're not there yet, and we can't while we're there, so we have to keep debasing ourselves. Is like this really weird push-pull story.
But if nothing else, I know there's good guys, there's bad guys. It's this kind of balance between them.
And now, Puvu, you are able to grasp specifically the nuance that not only, you know, are they loath to do this, that it seems very dangerous for them to continuously come and go, right? To go into these lesser worlds, and B, that this specific storyline that you're following, that, you know, ostensibly is the Grimm's, she is now trapped, right? Like the story is like something went wrong, something didn't work, there was an attack, there was a misfortune, there was something, and now they are trapped here. And that's, you know, and it's, they're giving up a lot, maybe because the assumption is not a lot of people are here, maybe the assumption is no one will be able to understand it, right? But you do, you have that little piece of information.
So I feel like I kind of remember asking this before, so tell me if I did. But what does Puvu know about the ritual that happened? I can never remember the name, that landed us in
the transversal.
Transversal.
Yeah, I mean, that's the transversal is specifically what it means when the plane is dragged from one location to another.
Okay.
The ritual that's being concocted is basically, for lack of a better term, a blood eclipse or a blood moon that blocks out the sun, and it heralds the transversal. Would
he necessarily think that there's a connection between those two events, the transversal and why the Grimm are trapped here?
I'm not sure. I mean, you're obviously allowed to think whatever you would like. But
I mean, Dan thinks that because Dan doesn't live in that world and doesn't see the patterns and stuff like that, and that's why I was curious.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll an Arcana.
Okay. Let's see. Go.
Damn, dude.
No.
So,
All right.
So you're like we've seen this scene. We've all seen this scene in the movies, right? Where you're like walking and you like, right? And we zoom in on a couple things, and then we just see like math symbols going around, right? Like,
oh boy,
we hear like ticking clocks and like the rifling of many pages and everything. You're actually able to piece together very quickly, and because remember, like, you're just walking through a room, and while it is a long room, you didn't have time to like sit down and study all of this stuff. This is just fucking Puvu's analytical as fuck, apparently.
He's very wise.
Yeah. There is a section of the story where the Grimm is waiting until the next transversal. Like the transversal is actually the only thing that has a chance to help them out. as opposed to being the reason they are stuck, which you would not normally expect that because it's supposed to be nigh impossible to get out of Ravenloft, which is why you've been there for so long, as opposed to not.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah. So the party, that you go through this long room, and you've been escorted by some of the Grimm's guards, a few other Githyanki. Sorry, I wanted to say Thrycreen for a second, and that was very wrong.
That's my other character.
Is anyone looking at anybody? Is anyone saying anything? You weren't like deprived of your weapons or anything. They were just like, "Come on," and you were like, "Yeah, take me to her." Or everybody's cool with just getting there.
I don't want to keep rolling, so somebody else does. If somebody else has got something, we can go ahead.
Right. It's okay if everyone's cool. We'll go to the next scene. I'm not worried about it. Just making sure we have a chance.
I think Nico's just kind of like determined, and things reeling through his mind about what he's what this interaction is going to be like.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So you spill out into a room that is not any more or less impressive than any other room in this building. It seems to be mostly cleared away of the nonsense. There is something like a throne, but it's really just a chair up on a dais, right? With some black silk that has been laid over the top of it, and in the quintessential slightly bored and impassive Gith face just staring at you, with lacquered fingernails just gently brushing across their cheek. At the edges of the light, which is very dim and mostly coming from behind you, right, so it's kind of spilling out into a semicircle, you can see Tasker Bagath, flanked on either side, right? 2, maybe 3 people. It's kind of hard to say on each side, so somewhere between 5 and 7 people in the room, not counting yourselves. And then 2 behind you, I think, that kind of brought you in. Does that sound right? At least 1. Some number. I think it's 2. Somebody feel free to correct us if you want.
I don't think I was aware of a specific number at any point. I assumed it was like 3 or 4, but...
Yeah, I don't remember. I probably specified, but it was mostly a throwaway amount. You guys didn't seem like you were actually fighting them, so it didn't matter in the strictest sense.
Are we still... Is the stream still going? I got an error.
I believe so.
Should be.
Working for
I
me.
still see it.
Must be on my end. Sorry.
Hello?
Continue.
Internet, can you hear us?
Internet.
Alright. Sorry about that.
All right.
Like, follow, and subscribe if you can see us. No one home. Crap.
Yeah, I know it works.
Every
Sorry.
the thing never popped up.
What's
I
up?
got a bunch of errors on Roll20 and on Discord, or Roll20 and the Twitch, so... Sorry.
Funky.
Hmm.
Funky.
Cool. Yeah, so do you, we'll do the thing. Who talks first? You talk first, I talk first.
Oh, I see what you did there.
We're in there with the Grim. Is she there yet?
Yeah, she's in the chair.
She's in
Hold
the
on, I might have to go find out what that awful noise was. I'll be right back.
Oh boy.
Oh no. The purge has begun.
Well, I mean, at least Goose can't die in this encounter. I mean, it was good playing D&D with y'all.
I keep being told I have no internet, and yet I can still hear and interact with you guys. I think I've gone beyond the pale or something.
It's a farce.
Spooky.
Yeah.
There's ghosts in your internet.
Internet goes.
No, hey, it's Ian.
Hi, Ian.
Howdy.
Sorry. The cats continuously being awful to each other.
I mean, that's how it is.
It really shouldn't be. Come here.
Give me cats.
Nah.
Meow.
Say hello. You're famous now.
Whoa, look at that famous cat.
Mm-hmm. This is Clem
I
Fandango.
recognize that cat anywhere.
Clem Fandango?
Yeah. Look at the camera. Say hi. No, he hates it. He's done. He hates it. Come on, please. Please. Jesus. Simon never got his stupid foot stuck in between the fucking cords of the headphones. It's just unreal. They're so bad at this. Okay, sorry. Hi, everybody. Yeah, the real horror begins. Just fucking cats crashing into everything. Yes, so the Grim is in the room. The Grim is staring at you impassively as Tassiker.
I was kind of browse around the room and just call out, "Your dog is sitting in my bar."
Was, yes. I was curious. She came home.
Oh no.
Did she bring you anything?
Yeah, I figured we'd get to that later. You want to see her?
I'd like to see what she brought you.
Do you know what she brought?
Are you asking as a character or a player?
I am asking as a DM because she will make a roll.
I'm expecting that it is Goose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think a DC is to read that you think you know?
I mean,
like, you playing it pretty close to the chest? You're talking like, 16, 18? Or do you have a smug look like, I know what's going on here?
I think more so that, like, yeah.
Okay, so maybe like a 12, 14.
12, yeah.
Yeah,
something.
okay.
Wow.
Well, yeah, so she tries to look, and she can see that you're looking smug. And I think that she gets overconfident instead, right? She just says, if I thought you were a threat, you wouldn't have any weapons. We're here to talk. Take a seat.
Yeah, Nico will just kind of motion to the others, kind of don't worry, we're good.
Oh, God.
Everyone
Did
just disappeared.
Oh.
just drop out of Roll20?
What the fuck?
The internet goes.
I told you.
Shit, what?
I told you. I warned you. Heeded my warning.
Is this what I've been doing to people?
My connection to the server
Yep.
What?
interrupted.
Did Roll20 just...
Oh, everyone's back.
Oh my God.
Except for Tristan.
Ah, dang it, I refreshed.
There you are.
That was actually wild. Really good timing.
Just as I said it was good, everyone disappeared.
Really good timing.
What?
Somebody better clip that. That was funny.
What?
Oh my goodness.
What was it? You said literally. You said everything's fine.
Yep.
We've
Fucking
got-
wipe.
We've got, and that's how we all die.
And the
It's
Grimcast
so
vanished.
fast.
Right? Jesus.
Oh shoot! You can't see me again. What?
No.
Maybe.
Alright.
Oh come on!
I froze.
This is.
Yeah, everybody's frozen on my screen, so.
Everyone's just disappearing on mine except for Dave.
Oh
He was
boy!
alive.
Roll 20's having a time.
Yeah,
Oh
right?
boy! I can see
The rolling 20s.
Riley and Dan LA on the stream.
Same.
Oh.
Yeah, so everybody, you don't have to, but I assume at Nico's words, perhaps you feel a little more comfortable, if not, fully at home.
I know for certain Drib is not comfortable with the situation, is not taking a seat.
I think Nico would kind of, after sitting down, challenge back a little bit and say something like, "No, I didn't think you were the type for the consortium, and now look at you, leading the whole darn thing."
Yeah, she leans back a little, smile on her face. Says, well, I wouldn't go that far, but Fulcrum wishes to play Emperor, and I'm keeping myself busy here. Didn't think of me as the consortium. Well, how much have you thought of me all these years now?
More often than you think.
So then you know. It's me, the architect of all your misfortune.
I'd begun to expect as much. But what's in all this for you? I don't buy this life you built for yourself here.
Yeah, right, and she's just shaking her head and sighing heavily. She's like, no, this is not at all what I want, but I was never a fool, and as you remember, I, take opportunities where possible. So, in the interest of friendship and perhaps rekindling something, building our bridges as opposed to burning them, I can't say I'm helping you, but perhaps we can work together.
Well, why don't you bring me what your dog hunted down? And then we'll talk.
Yes, interesting, that one. I've never known Parak to be so friendly. and out of the shadows, not any of the ones that was standing by, right? Like, Goose, would you like to narrate you holding hands with your friend, your new friend, your little friend?
I mean, that's pretty much it. This terrifying, lumbering creature with long, gangly fingers. Goose has his tiny little hand wrapped around one of the fingers, like a baby. They got matching bracelets and stuff, like the friends' bracelets. Just walking out like nothing's going wrong. Everything's fine.
Yeah. And as you're coming out, Shadow is like, you remember we're friends.
Well, of course.
And 6 or 7 memories that don't exist of all of you hanging out and walking under the shade of a tree somewhere and hanging out in a crypt somewhere, but it's cool because you're being respectful of all the dead,
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, your friends, they're not gonna like me.
I mean, we gotta give them a chance, I guess. I don't know.
They
just
left.
Don't see what I see, I guess.
They were left before. They were jealous.
I mean, that's true, but people can change. They can get better.
I won't give you up, Goose.
I mean, that's fine, my friend. I won't leave you. If they're not gonna like you, I will.
Okay, and she just...
Can we hear any of this?
No.
Okay.
It communicates totally in emotions. It's
Okay.
just that because there's a lot of mind reading and mind editing going on there, that there's a intersection. And Shadow, it in real life, Goose's fingers would be purple at this point from the grip, but you just feel like a snug grasp. Okay, we'll do it.
A tiny hug.
Tiny hug. Yeah. Social distancing.
Thank you, Ewan. We all are.
And yes, Shadow, aka Parak, the 6-foot-ish, malnourished, half-dead shadow sorcerer, walks out of the darkness, clinging more or less to Goosebert Crumplebottom.
Does Goose look okay? Aside from a crushed hand?
Goose looks a little... I mean, and Riley can supersede this, obviously, but I would think that Goose looks just a little bit in a fugue state, not entirely aware of what's going on, a little slow to react and a little, spacey, but otherwise fine.
Okay.
So we wouldn't realize that there's any sort of ensorcelment going on.
I mean, he's holding hands with a evil shadow monster.
This is Goose.
I mean,
yeah, it's a little
that's
weird.
a goose thing.
It's a little weird. I don't think that your
like-
mind immediately just goes, he's been ensorcelled, but you're like, what the fuck, man?
This
Come
is
on, be
weird.
cool.
I mean, Goose is also friends with a Knoll vampire, and tried to be friends with a lady who ended up killing God, and
These are all valid points.
was briefly friends with Mr. Cornstalks. Goose has been friends with basically everyone we've encountered. But even still, Drib's probably can be like, Goose, you're okay.
So, would I be able to tell if this is with magic or ability?
I think as the scene progresses, you have a chance, yeah.
Okay.
So Goose comes out, and Nico, how do you react?
Kind of chiming off of what Tristan said there. Say like, you never cease to surprise me with the friends you make, Goose.
I mean, yeah, this person's pretty great. Shadow's kind of a swell person. I don't know why you guys ran away from him, though.
Does Shadow want to tell you why she tried to kill me?
He's lying. They hate me.
Why would Shadow try to do that?
That's something you'd have to ask her.
Do we hear Shadow talking?
Mm-mm.
No.
So we know that
you would see Parak turn and look at him, and that's about it.
So Parak. Okay. Puvu would say to Goose, like, can you tell us what you see when you look at Shadow?
It's a hell of a jump.
I mean, so we established that I see like another gnome, right?
Yeah, you see a little bit lanky, skinny gnome, but I don't know why that would happen. I don't know why you would immediately think Goose isn't seeing what he's seeing when he is friends with the Knoll vampire.
Yeah.
Well, if I'm thinking that this is some sort of like ensorcelment, like, or what am I hate the term, but
We hadn't gotten there yet, though. I was saying, as the conversation progresses, you have a chance to notice that.
I'm sorry, my mistake.
No, you're good.
Withdrawn.
You're well within your rights to like probe, definitely. Like, okay, how are you talking to? It's talking to you, right? Like that would be
right.
a reasonable question right now.
Right. Okay. Be like, yeah. So I think you'd be like, what's Shadow told you about us?
Yeah, I like that one.
I mean, I know more about you guys than Shadow does, but Shadow's being a bit self-conscious and worried you're gonna hate them.
Have you tried introducing Shadow to Duncan? They'd probably get along.
Where is Duncan anyway? Duncan!
Bat?
Yeah.
Where did Duncan join us?
No. Fuck.
Oh,
That was bad.
I
moved the wrong thing.
Well, he, I think, followed us when we were at the bar going to the other bar. Then we went back to the bar and were captured. And I don't know, we've sort of lost track of him. He's been flying around a lot.
Yeah, he's just a sad bat in the air. And the Grim goes, so you've seen everything. Are we working on something here?
Well, why don't you tell me your terms and we'll see what we can do.
Ever the businessman, Nico.
Kept the bar alive for long enough, didn't I?
Yeah, she laughs. She smiles. You probably don't want to stay in the city for very long. And I can make sure that happens and you not get captured. There's not much of a provisional government going on, but there's still a few people that are unhappy with your actions. The church in particular. But I can help with that. Now, Kaylin, shall we speak of your sister? And your business in the consortium?
Yes.
Nico steals a glance at
Right.
Kaylin, like feeling a little bit betrayed, but also intrigued.
I don't think I remember her name. I think I just have her as sister in my notes.
I think I named her Elise.
Okay, that does sound right. Yep. Thieves Guild watching Elise and Dustile. Yep. Okay. Yeah, and Shadow, or sorry, not Shadow, but the Grim knows that. She says, I am prepared to, for your cooperation, buy out the debt you owe. Now, we can see to Elise being safe, or safe moving forward. I could release her into your care, because I know you wouldn't be foolish enough to risk her again, or risk my wrath. Really, it's just what you want to do. How long has it been since you've seen your sister?
Kaylin pauses, trying to remember.
Yeah. And then, the Grim gets up out of the chair and starts, pacing a little bit, talking out loud, not to themselves, because it's obviously to you, but, trying to act as though they're talking just out loud, pondering. It says, or part of your payment could be repaid in securing for me, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe Scarban survived.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
Scarban and not the cleric.
Yeah.
What, Scarban and one other survived.
Yeah, that was what I had too, because I had...
I know
Rook?
it wasn't the cleric, and I don't think it was the one... I
I
want to
think
say
it was
one
the
had a
Rook.
crossbow.
I think it's the knight.
Okay.
Oh no,
Because whichever one... The one with the crossbow died. I know,
so
if
I
one
have...
of them had a crossbow.
So the knight did die. So I have the bishop and the knight... Oh yeah, I have the bishop and the knight crossed out, so the rook. Ormaug and Scarban lived. That was what I had in my notes. I just wanted to be sure.
Okay.
I
just remember we killed the bishop, very dead.
Yeah.
And
And
one other.
yeah, so not, magic of movie editing. We don't miss that scene, right? Where
Yeah.
the Grim says, or you can secure for me Scarban, and we can aim that awful creature directly at Fulcrum, push him over, and install you. But I'm afraid I cannot do both. Not now, but if you were at the head of the table, your sister would be safe, wouldn't she? You can't owe yourself a debt.
Kaylin gets a smirk on her face and just replies, "That sounds agreeable."
Ooh.
Oh man.
And it is at this point I will call for Nico Veas to make either a wisdom saving throw or a con saving throw, depending on his mental or visceral reaction to seeing someone else make a terrible deal with the Grim.
Wisdom.
Ooh.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, pretty good. So you are well within your faculties. You don't take a trip down memory lane. You are older, wiser, and maybe you care for these party members? Oh.
Yeah, I would step forward and say, Kaylin, I would think long and hard about this. Last time I made a deal with the Grim. Well, this whole quest we're on right now for my fiance. Say I have you to thank for that, don't I?
I mean, I can't take all the credit, but I may have pushed them in your direction.
Hmm.
Now, I did not plunge the knife, nor did I tempt fates with resurrection.
Yeah, I guess I don't know how to respond to that. I thought you were going to say more there, so I'm sorry. I was waiting.
Oh no, you're good. I'm sorry. I was in my head. I was thinking if I could try and link the next one, or if it was a little too wild. And I it's very close. So I think that if you create a pause, she jumps on it, and says, interesting, of course, how you found yourself with Gehenna's boy. You don't remember me, do you, little one?
And then Drib responds in a voice that he has used maybe 4 or 5 times in this journey, reserved only for the most spiteful moments. Shut your mouth, wretch.
And who is it saying that?
That's totally Gehenna. All
talking
his
to
mean,
you.
nasty things.
Yeah.
He's got plenty of mean, nasty vocabulary that he tries to avoid, but she doesn't deserve niceties.
Yeah, so the Grim walks up, puts her hands on the side of your face.
Can I make a save to duck out of the way? I'm not letting her touch me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dex saving throw, I'm assuming?
You can either dex save, and I'll set the DC, or I can attack you, whatever you'd prefer.
Uncanny dodge.
I'm gonna go for the Dex save.
Okay. Yeah, it's gonna be a 17.
All right, let's see.
Mostly for the surprise.
Oh my
Yeah. So it was pretty tough, right? And like, it's not like she locks you in place. Like, she doesn't right? It's just the insult, right? As she puts her hands on your little beaky, right? And she says, "You are so rare and so special. It almost broke me to take you from your nest, but I had need of you."
You know nothing.
Also in Gehenna's voice.
Yeah. No, this is entirely gonna be her.
Yeah.
This is like Drib.
He's
his
having
normal, like, nice, very carefully cobbled together, like, friendly good boy voice is just out the window. That's for that's for good nice people.
Yeah.
That's for Goose and Kaylin and even Z2 for quite a while, and even still would probably be for Z2.
Yeah,
but not this.
Can you roll me an insight? Because you break away, right? You don't stay there. Yeah, and
I can roll an insight.
Force balances itself out. Now you don't have to accept this, right? Because this is 20 goddamn 20, right? And when a toxic person hurts you, you don't have to forgive them. But there is something that resembles genuine remorse, as she says, "I can bring you back if all of you can help me. It will not make up for what I've done. I was a different person then, and I was doing anything I could to get home. And Gehenna, she paid well and had good resources. I didn't know what she would do with you, and I didn't ask. But clearly you survived it. And if you want to go home to the nest, I do know where that is."
And this is probably kind of faltering between the two, his normal voice and Gehenna, since it's less directly what she would have ever said to him, and more kind of a cobbling of words. But there is no home. That's long gone. That chance has been missed. That opportunity is lost because of you. You can do nothing for me.
Yeah, I mean, she looks a little wounded, right? She looks taken aback, and she says, "It may not be your childhood home, but you don't want to go there. But I am telling you, I know where you came from, and you can return. They would probably be happy to see you."
They don't know me.
That's correct. Would you like them to?
I don't even know who they are, and I have no reason to trust you.
Yeah.
Mine is not the first life you have ruined.
No, not here. Not even today. But isn't that honesty?
I have no more words for you. Torment someone else. Insolent wretch.
Yeah, and she just looks at Puvu. She's like, I don't even know you.
I like that.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Yeah. I mean, so she's been pacing for a while. She kind of stepped down off the dais. She turns around and starts walking, and this would be like the overlay where it's like stab Grim in the back, right? Like, you don't have to, but
Is this to Puvu or me?
it would be to the party. It would just be like a ready check, right?
No, there's too many guards. As much as I would love to hit her with a stick. And Drib's also kind of shaking at this point.
Yeah, I mean, to me, this would be very much like the party looking at each other with the idea of, like, I'm going to attack her. Are you going to attack? Right? And it's like, I won't unless 3 people say yes, or, like, there would be another wave. It's like, okay, no one but you is going to do it. Are you sure? Right? Like, I am okay with that if the party wants to, like, internalize that for a moment.
Yeah, I definitely would, like, have, like, wide eyes, like, looking around, but definitely, like, not in an aggressive way, like, in a, like...
Right.
Not looking to make things worse way.
Drib
Kaelin
at
has her
this
arms
point.
crossed and her mind made up. She's wants to deal.
She just can't wait to be queen.
Yeah. Drib's probably just like staring at
No
the
one say
floor,
do this.
shaking. We're not doing this.
No, we're not doing this.
No. I'm not working for her, but I'm not getting killed by her either. If I can help it.
Yeah, I mean, Nico he knows her well enough that he takes a step forward and he's like, I know you're desperate or you wouldn't be here. I can tell you're being genuine through all we've been through together. This may be the one time.
Yes, that's probably accurate. There's too much that's lined up. Fulcrum is not weak and certainly not foolish, but far more ambitious than I've ever seen him. Scarban too easily manipulated, the transversal lasting too long, and the information simple, it's trivial almost. I need access to a cave in the mountains, and I apologize because I should know the mountains off the top of my head, but I gotta double check. They are in the Pale. I meant to look them up tonight, and I got distracted.
Is the Pale like the weird other world, or is that...
The Pale is in Greyhawk. The Rakers, that's what they are called. The Rakers and the Griff Mountains, but we are going for the Rakers, which are like east-northeast. And I will notate that so I don't forget later. Yeah, so that's kind of her, right? Like she's dropping like, quest points, right? That would like go in the log. Not that you have to accept it necessarily, but the kind of quest that you get from just hearing someone talk about it, right? Like there's a cave in the Rakers, to the northeast. The Grim wants something from inside of them.
Well, to start, we're gonna need our gnome back.
He's not
He's
ours.
maybe one of the most powerful of us. I don't think we can do anything for you without him.
She turns and she says, Hold on. Goose, high or low?
Low.
Low, good things happen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice.
I did not honestly know how she would treat Parak. I didn't know if she would be kind or if she would still look. And that would, like, Like, that, honestly, in my opinion, that has the potential to change the party's opinion, right? Like, you're being nice to us because we have something to give you, but the moment we don't, we're nothing, right? So she turns and says, Parak. 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 And it's like not looking. She's like, they need him. You can have him later, if that's what they choose. And Goose, from your perspective, you hear Shadow. Shadow. What do you say?
Whoa! Oh, my ears.
Right, and Shadow's like gripping onto you and is like, I think you have to leave now. You don't want to leave, do you?
No, I don't want to leave. Why? Why do you want to leave?
I can't leave, but your friends they're taking you away from me.
Why? That's terrible. I thought we were all going to be friends, or at least try.
We can all be friends. We just
They've-
want your help on this adventure, Goose.
Yeah, they've been nice to me while you're around. Will you keep them nice to me?
Yeah, I'll make sure that they treat you right.
This is gonna be fucked up. And she's like, okay, but what if I haven't been honest to you?
Well, what do you mean?
Not really a gnome.
You look very gnomish. I mean, that's fine. I met a bunch of gnolls who were kind of gnomes too, but not really.
She's like, yeah,
Wait.
not really a gnoll. Now, in fairness, you guys can hear the Goose part of this conversation.
Yeah,
Right,
wait,
yeah.
Okay.
Goose, she doesn't look all that gnomish, not to be rude.
I mean, what are you guys talking about? It's
She's
pretty,
like
pretty
6
lady
feet
gnome.
tall and made of shadows.
Yeah. Think of the Grim, but taller and less alive.
Yeah, and I
Oh.
think, like, poetic irony would be the spell has run out. Not, like, that she let it down, right? But it's just, like, it's been the full time now. And you just, like, turn and look, and you still have your memories, the edited ones, but you have, like, a distant echo of, like, what actually happened. And we're gonna have to deal with that trauma later. But, you turn and you're just, like, you know, thing is standing next to you.
Is it still being way too close?
Oh, yeah.
Does he just turn in like an inch from his face? That is not social distancing.
Goose falls to the ground.
Right. And it, like, just... I mean, it was trying to hold on to you. Did you break grasp?
I mean, is it still holding on to me? Because then it's just holding my limp noodled body that's trying to fall to the ground.
I mean, it wouldn't have let go, but I think, like, your, like, reaction is such that if you were like, bah! Right, like, you got away. You know what I mean? So it's your call.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that would scare anybody.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So it like, in a very, like, mimic shot, right? Like, it tries to grab your face like it saw the Grim do, right? Because that's the only way it can communicate. It, like, it can you know, send thoughts a bit and emotions. So it's like,
Oh,
What are you doing?
right, and instead it's fucking horrifying. It's just like half that thing's like on top of you, like,
whoa, whoa.
Is it killing me? What's happening? Goose is flailing.
yeah. Go ahead and roll a dex. This will only be a 15 DC though, because it is not as nimble. Okay.
Oh.
Okay. So it gets a hand on you enough to just, like, you know, transfer emotion of just like, I'm still your friend. I'm still your friend. Your love.
Oh my god. Wasn't there like a subtle way you could have done this?
Wait, what'd he say?
Wasn't there a subtle way you could have
Yeah.
done this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right? And it's like, I can... Oh, this is so fucked up, right? Because it's like holding you still. Because I mean, unless you're continuing trying to wiggle away, it's like I can look different. I can change my form for you.
No.
Oh.
No, that's not it. I just, oh my god. It was just, I wasn't expecting that. I mean, I would, maybe if you tried not to kill us at the beginning.
Yeah, are you still like? Have you squirmed away, or are you still like playing ball, for lack of a better term?
I mean, Goose is still there. He's got like some tears in his eyes, and his heart is racing, adrenaline's pumping because he got scared shitless. But
yeah,
he's trying to like rationalize. It's like why this thing would want to be his friend when she like straight up tried to murder them when he first met them and tried to kill this mother and their children. So
yeah.
it's just like,
So I think Puvu. Oh, you got something, Dan. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I think Puvu would say something like, "Goose, your other friends are still here. Do you need help?"
I mean, no. This thing just seems to be pretty desperate to be loved, and it kind of makes me sad.
Yeah, and I think like the Grim is moving Parak away, right? So the last like little impulse you get is just like, I was looking for anyone to care. It's like kind of right, like the emotion would be like discovering the bar and feeling that like affection or twisted fucked up like ritual that Nico concocted, and then like guarding it and not understanding that it wasn't safe because it was also a monster in the basement, and then trying to be like, I want to be here because this is a good feeling for me, and then like a flash of Nico, who's like 100 feet tall and like dripping with like ichor and poison, just being like, no, you won't consume our love, right? And it was like, I'm defending it, and then Parak is like dragged away.
Goose, are you okay?
I really think the thing wasn't as bad as we thought it was.
Puvu will turn to the Grim and say, "Well, you've had a lot of fun here. Is there anything else you wanted to say?"
Are you saying to the Grim or to
the Grim?
This is no. Right, like it's like shoves Barak away into like a side room that is like not like not like super apparent. Everything's just like, yeah, I don't really understand either of those things. Your friend or Shadow.
Oh, I thought you were saying fun.
What now?
Goose checks to make sure that the Shadow still has the bracelet.
Oh yeah. Ooh. Were you both wearing them, or was it like a infinity knot one that was tying you together?
I think they both had one, if I was reading into that right.
Yeah.
I think so. I was trying to make it, and I put it like the little glowing stone or whatever into it.
Roll a d20. As long as you do not get a 1, it did not get broken when you or in the ensuing scuffle.
Oh, that would be...
Okay.
Oh, hey, look, a 7.
Hey, look, a 7.
It's like a 1.
Yeah.
I rolled a 7.
Yeah. So still has the friendship, but or at least you look around and you don't see it broken anything. But you can't see Shadow right now. Shadow's in a different room.
Oof.
No.
Are you gonna be okay, Goose?
I turned to Grim or whatever. It's like, what do you do with Shadow? Like, do you treat them well?
Shadow isn't really mine. It's just around. And, honestly, there wasn't a lot to it. And being in this city for a while has really opened up the whole thing. I don't think I understand them as well as I should.
Do you understand why they were sitting in my bar in the first place?
So I don't actually think that the Grimm knows that you resurrected your wife. Or your fiancée.
Oh, that I, like, kept her, you mean?
Yeah.
Ah.
I think she knows you might have tried it, or you tried to do something, but I don't think she knows what happened afterwards.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like, because we made an allusion to the ritual, but I don't think there would be any reason to know, because, like, you hid it, right? Like...
Right, yeah, she's hidden in the basement.
The thing that went wrong was you had... the Grimm sold you out, they came for you, they made you go do a thing. While doing the thing, you both nearly died. Well, your fiancé died, you almost died.
Right.
And then you did the ritual. And I think you doing the ritual is probably reasonably common knowledge, because you were a tinkerer and an alchemist, and you had to buy up stuff. But then I think the Grimm probably thought you just, like, left town, and you, like, laid low. And what you were actually doing was just keeping... the monstrosity you created under lock, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Looking for that, like, ultimate cure.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So she doesn't really say much to that?
No, because I think she's very confused, like, in general. Like, something happened to Parak that doesn't make sense.
Could I roll insight based on kind of, like, hearing the interactions with Goose to see if I would understand maybe a little bit about... maybe try to connect the dots of, like, you know, Goose saying, like, she just wants to be loved, and then if that would jar anything for me.
Yeah, because you pretty much got there the first time you interacted with Parak, because it was sending you, like, the I want to be here, this is a good love, or whatever, and you were like, no, you're not going to feast off it, you freaky lamprey thing.
Yeah. Yep, that makes sense. Yeah, so I guess Nico would just say, like, so the shadow's not yours. She was there for me all along.
Yeah, I know Shadow, and Shadow is part of our group, but Shadow is more rogue than anything else and didn't do well. I don't know what's happened to them other than they're here lingering and they like gnomes, apparently.
Well, and Nico would use her actual first name here, kind of with a softer voice, like, Grima. Could you keep her away from the bar when we come back?
Could you keep Parak away from the bar?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, and she just narrows her eyes at you. Says, yes, that'll be easy. So we have an understanding. The fool and the cave for a crown and freedom, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, Nico kind of looks to Kaylin and tries to see, like, you know, I wouldn't wish this deal upon anybody, but I can say that she needs this, and she's been looking for this for a long time. So this is your call to make.
I'm ready to go when you are.
All right. Just know that you might not be the one in control.
Yeah, and the whole time Grim is just grinning. And with not but a final taunt of, See what you can do for your bird friend. I'd love a chance to repay some of my debts.
Wait, and I need to double check my character sheet to get my snarky response. One moment, please. I think.
Yes. Fuck you.
It's gonna be you're however many years too late, based on because Drip was probably like 3 or 4, so it was like you're almost 30 years too late for that.
As Nico turns around and starts walking maybe toward the exit, he says, like, try teaching him to fly. Maybe we'll get something that way.
I will.
You are not nice, Mr. Cat!
You wretch!
Stop being so catty.
Me, ouch.
Me, ouch.
Okay. So everyone leaves the room?
Do we know actually where we're going?
I'm just storming out.
It's just a cave in the mountains.
Cave in the mountains.
Cave in the mountains, yeah. You got a little hot spot in your mini map.
Cool.
The Scarband one will probably take a little bit of research. The other question is, are you taking the fiance with you out to the he who walks behind cornstalks?
Side quest along the way.
Yeah, I mean, you don't necessarily have to decide tonight. We're going to end a little early. I have one more scene that I want, and I wanted to check in with everybody just to see if they wanted to talk about anything.
Okay. Yeah, I think if we're not quite at that point of deciding right now, then I'll wait and see kind of where we're at.
Yeah. Does anyone want a scene before we go too far? Because like you're more or less you are allowed to leave under your own devices, but you are directed to leave. Right? It's like Disneyland. The lights only point one way.
I want to know if Shadow's following me.
Shadowing you, one might say?
Shadow is not allowed to, so...
Not allowed to? Oh, man. Goose feels really bad about Shadow.
It's okay, I'm gonna fuck with you again in a minute.
No.
If no one else has a scene, I have a tiny thing for Drib.
Yeah.
It's probably just gonna be, like, this whole thing having jogged his memory of, like, when he was young, like, off his siblings all playing or something, and just being, however it happened, taken away apparently by the Grimm, and him just kind of way too curious about what it was she was talking about, and this, like, this little part of the back of his mind being like, what if? But that kind of at the moment being filtered by rage. And just like, what's out there?
Yeah. What do you mean I have a home to go back to? I hate you.
It's like,
where is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
You tricked me.
Basically, take me there.
Right.
Jerk.
Angrily.
It's just this mixture of like, this is, along with the whole natural Kenku wanna fly, this is a more personal, like, what's this home thing like? I think I read about it in a book once. I want to try that, but also screw you. Like, and it just being a far too tempting offer than he'd like it to be. After everything the Grimm has done.
Is this like a multiple day excursion?
Yeah, it's going to take you a few days to get out to the mountains.
I think Goose quietly sobs to himself at night before he goes to bed.
Oh.
Yeah, I actually like the idea of you sobbing right now. Because never to be outdone, Goose gets 2 heartbreaks. Because there's an individual that crosses your path, the party's path, and I don't think anyone's too worried, like when they see them at first, because there's clearly like the regalia of Palor and of light, right? Like, so this is probably not a bad person that shows up.
Oh no.
It is a mull, which is a half human, half dwarf. Very rare. bald, hairless, right? Very, very tanned skin, but like very like withered and aged. A lot of lines, right, just stretched across the face. Not only like time and experience, but like a hard and heavy life. And they would be dressed like just a touch too like fancy or ostentatious to like fit the scene at large. But like at a close glance, like practically enough. Like things, it's like there's like a few too many belts, but there's still like they're well oiled and they're fastened, right? And what they do is like keep the armor and all of like the billowing like to a minimal, right? So you can move quickly and you're not like flapping all over the place, right? And like a lot of things on a belt underneath like kind of a trench coat, but not like a ridiculous amount that's just like, oh, try hard and jangly, right? Like all of them once again like well oiled, well taken care of and everything. And it's kind of this like perfect fusion of like traveling cleric, but also like surgeon. Yeah, and they, for lack of a better term, just like insert themselves into the pathway that you are walking, and do not move.
Does anyone have any inclination to speak up?
I guess Goose would if the second he sees a Paylor thing.
Paylorian.
Yeah, I was in my head. You're definitely like sniffling a little bit and getting ready for a big cry, but you haven't gotten there yet. So I didn't know if you caught it first or not.
I mean, I think what Goose is doing is before he goes to bed every night, he has his little sobs, so no one's awake.
Gotcha. Okay.
He doesn't cry in front of people. He doesn't want anyone.
Okay, so you're not breaking up quite yet. You're just having a tough go of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You look up and see Henri Clasper, and you know Henri Clasper because they are judge, jury, and executioner for Paylor. They are the excommunicator that threw Beatrice Belmont out of the church.
Oh. Oh. All right. Goose is not seeing his usual happy self to see this fellow Paylorian.
Oh no.
He bites his tongue and clenches his fist and shakes a little.
And bald head, no hat, wary face, right? Just sort of looks at you, all black eyes, very creepy. Says, oh, and I thought as much.
Sorry, write notes.
Well, how are you, little one?
What are you doing here, Henry?
Well, there are not many around to help. The times are hard, transversal. Perhaps
Sounds like we could use, some extra people.
Those in good faith, good standing, yes.
The more, the better.
No. The better, the better. So, you, how we say, we perform auguries, and see a aura.
I mean, I've seen her, yeah, and as far as I know, I've seen her kill Paylor himself.
Yes, this is very bad.
I mean, yeah, it's pretty bad. I don't think it gets any worse.
So what are you going to do about it, little one?
I mean, trying to find her. What are you doing?
He looks around and says, she's not here.
I mean, yeah, that's why we kept moving. But, you know, you're here. Doing what?
So, if I understand, you want Bellamont to return?
I mean, yeah, I've always wanted that. I feel like it was incredibly unfair when you did.
And you know Aura. Wish her ill.
You wish her ill or I wish her ill? Because I think we should all wish her ill.
So you see her thrown out of the church.
I mean, yeah, if you were to make a right decision once in your life, it would be throw Aura out.
Yeah, and he grabs a book at his side, and he lets it kind of fall open, right? And he draws, a magic quill which always has ink upon it.
Oh, nice.
And he says, "So, come and train as excommunicator. You have another shot."
I mean, I feel like at this point a more hands-on approach is needed. So if I'm to get this right, an excommunicator is more of like a books, legal kind of thing.
This guy seems pretty hands-on.
An enforcer as well.
An
Yeah.
excommunicator
Judge,
hands-on?
jury, execution, communicator.
Yeah, he can do the thing. He can help you do the thing. And what he indicates now is, come on, let's go get her, you and me. Let's do it. I'll train you up, and then you'll have a shot to bring your mentor back. But you got to come with me right now.
I look at the rest of the group.
We'll support you no matter what, Goose.
Indeed.
I'm still going to be taller than you someday.
I mean, I hope so. I'll be really concerned that your race isn't human. If you're not.
Dave, you monster.
If you would like, I will let us cliffhanger right there.
Sure.
You don't have to. You can make a decision.
I don't know. Oh, that's pretty important, though. Oh, I think Goose would go. I really do. Wait, where's Duncan?
Yeah, he's somewhere. I'm just.
Oh my god. Why?
Whoa! Why do
Don't
you have
twist it.
Do we all need knives? I have mine.
I've got a cat.
It's got like 10 little knives on its hands.
I do not. It sounds like they have been awful tonight.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. Quick party vote. Do we? Does the episode go until there's an answer in Fade to Black, or does it stop right there? Is Henri is waiting for an answer?
I feel like that's a pretty good cliffhanger to end on.
It's a pretty fucked up cliffhanger, isn't it?
It is. This entire episode's been pretty screwed up.
Yeah, no,
Like-
I had to get like everything out. I just had to do
The
it.
next episode, it's the episode 25 turbo shake-up. Where we all die.
Yeah, I feel cliffhanger wise that would be pretty good with no decision yet.
Okay, cool.
Because if we have resolution, then what's the cliffhanger?
It's true.
Yeah, true.
Thanks y'all for.
And I mean-
oh, sorry.
I mean, I can't even with these pierogies, though.
No, I cannot even.
Can't
with this
even.
program.
God, that sounds so good.
I have so many pierogi lasagna.
Thanks y'all for playing session 24 of Curse of Strahd / whatever fucked up shit I can force you to deal with.
Tune in next time for Sadness.
We're destroying Goose.
Yeah. Yeah, no, is secret bonus mission for me. The whole game is just how much can I fuck Goose up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
don't win until Goose cries.
He's cried so many times.
Yeah, he's cried
He's
many
cried.
times.
Like every night, this boy cries. Why
It's
must
not
you hurt
enough.
our boy?
Let me taste those tears. It's a glass of tears, isn't it, Tim?
It's good. It's good.
Do you need a water bottle just labeled Goose Tears?
Yeah, that'll be our next emote.
Oh, lovely.
Cool.
All right. Good,
Thanks y'all
good
for
night,
playing.
everyone.
Chat.
Be
Thanks
sure
for
to
hanging out
like,
with us.
comment, subscribe.
That's right.
We're on YouTube. We're here on Twitch. We're on. I want to say we have an Instagram, which is like linked. Yeah, it's linked in the. If you scroll down a little bit, there's my Instagram. I think we have a Twitter.
We have a Twitter. We have a Tumblr. We have a SoundCloud. We have a Patreon.
Yeah. So go check those things out, and everyone have a good night, and make sure to tune in 2 weeks from now for a whole lot of.
It was good. It was good.
We're sad.
All right. Thank you so much. Does anybody have anything they want to plug in particular?
My wife and I started up our podcast again for season 2. It's called the Honey Guess What podcast. We basically will tell a topic. Both of us will bring a topic to talk about. Neither one of us knows what the other person is going to say, and so we sometimes say, educational stuff. Sometimes it's goofy. Sometimes it's about a cult. You never really know. So we got season 1 up on all the platforms. Season 2 just starting. Episode 2 will be out tomorrow or the next day, hopefully. So
nice.
Go check it out. Honey Guess What podcast.
I say drop a link in chat, or if you tweet it out or Facebook it, I will retweet, share, whatever.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, I will do that.
All right. Anybody else?
Link to the Past, Randomizer League Season 2. I have my mystery race this Saturday at 9 p.m., which has a whole bunch of settings that I've never played with before that I could end up having to race. So come watch me have a miserable time and support me and hope that I win.
I do hope that you win.
Yeah, twitch.tv/Olhado.
I hope you win too, but let's be honest, we're coming in for the miserable time.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be great. I'm probably going to end up with shuffled enemies, inverted world, and have no idea what the hell's going on.
Oh, heck yeah.
I'll lock myself in a room playing Animal Crossing nonstop.
Same.
Nice.
I'll be getting that tomorrow.
Yeah. Have a good night, everyone.
Right. Thank you.
See you, everybody.
Bye.
Be sure to tune in 2 weeks and next week even.
Bye.
Every week.
Every week.
Every week.
Bye.
Bye.